Drama City Productions presents.
What's up, party people? You are listening to Conversations with Paycheck and Red,
an inappropriate comedy podcast.
Have you ever taken a photo of your own butthole?
Do you enjoy the smell of hot dog water?
Do you have random conversations about dildos?
Well, this is the podcast for you.
Just two good old boys having no-holds-barred conversations.
All while laughing inappropriately.
Oh, hell. Paycheck and Red have gotten themselves into another inappropriate conversation. Let's listen and see how they get out of this one.
3, 2, 1.
All right, 3, 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, but not children of all ages, because this is an inappropriate comedy podcast. A little tongue twister in there. I'm Paycheck, and I'm with my boy Red. What's up, brother?
What's up, party people?
How's things?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Doing well, doing well. Blessed.
Blessed?
I think so. I mean, I've heard people say blessed. Breastises?
That's just one breast.
Yeah, but when people say blessed, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going through trials and tribulations. I mean, they just don't want you all in their damn business. So they say, I'm blessed. Mind your own business. I'm blessed. I'm good. You know?
Too blessed to be stressed.
Yeah, I mean, I know, because sometimes when you're struggling or whatever, people oh man, think about, the silver lining. You've got a roof over your head and you got food in the pantry and the refrigerator. Listen, I know this shit, motherfucker. Yeah, I know what I have. I see it. You know what I mean? I experience it. I'm just going through some shit. I want to vent a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm blessed. Shout out to the Homeboy Shopping Network barbershop, where they come to your house, take care of things. This guy even has a razor blade pulled out of a razor and stuck in like some sort of aluminum foil / comb / you know what I mean?
That's some jailhouse shit right there.
Yeah, it might even be a shank as well.
It's a line straightener for your neck, and it'll shank your ass all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. But the bad thing about now, listen, not everybody is going to be able to relate to this, and I'm sure you won't be able to relate to this. But when you grew up the way I grew up, I grew up in the hood. Now, when I say I grew up, that doesn't mean I was born and raised in the hood and I spent my whole life in the hood. What I'm saying is that at that pivotal age in a young man's life, I was moved to the hood. Around 13, 13, 14, you know what I mean? That's so I adapted to the environment around me, and going to the barbershop was a big deal. We had an episode about barbershops or salons, you know what I mean? But something about a fade, the quality of the fade, guys talk about it. A guy will come up to you and talk to you about your fade. That's crazy, right?
Never have I ever had a conversation about my fade.
Yeah, because yours ain't shit. Your fade sucks. You do your own fade, for crying out loud.
Yeah, so what? I've been cutting my own hair for like 10, 12 years, man. I got that shit down to a science. I got a pretty tight fade. Not at the moment, but, To
bald, like, you know how to, taper down to the skin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. So that's
I mean, I don't have like no certifications in barbering or anything, but I know how to do it.
Yeah, this dude, he didn't either. He learned like most other people that used to come to my house and cut my hair in prison.
Yeah, I didn't learn in prison. I just got tired of paying for a fucking haircut and decided to do it myself.
Back in the day.
Because I couldn't find anybody that could cut my hair the way that I wanted it to be cut.
Yeah. Well, that's when you build a relationship, a rapport with your barber or your stylist or whoever. That way they get familiar with your hair, how it grows. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of shit going on up here. I'm thinning on top, so I'm hiding shit. You know what I mean? So once you get a barber, you tell him these things. He knows these things. So when you're thinning and you're trying to hide shit or you're trying to keep what you got, you have to, you have to train it in a certain way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Anyway, my point is that
your fade's better than mine.
No, it's the culture of getting a fade. Like if I get a good fade, a good take, I'll come back to you. It doesn't matter how much.
There's a fade culture, like a whole culture surrounding fades.
Well, not undocumented. I will judge a man's fade if I'm behind him at Walmart.
So gay. So gay.
I know, right?
You might as well be looking at his ass.
Well, I mean, I think I would notice right away if he was, doing squats. You know what I mean? A couple of reps, a couple of sets.
Look at the buns on that thing.
Yeah.
He must work out.
Yeah, that's one of those pre-workout to the workout pre-workouts.
Okay.
You know, that's the thing, right? You have a pre-workout beverage meal. I've seen some guys eating in the gym. And then, of course, you have some sort of eating deal after the gym. I felt guilty about it. To build muscle mass, you got to eat a lot. You're talking about a minimum to put on weight. Now, of course, it varies per individual, but you're looking at 3,000 calories a day. That's easy to do if you're eating Burger King and McDonald's and all those fun places. But if you're eating chicken breast and sweet potatoes and brown rice and broccoli and fruits and almonds and beans, you know what I mean? Then it's hard to get 3,000 calories of good food. But my point is that when I was doing that, and I built muscle mass, I was feeling good about things, but there's a guilty feeling involved with it. Here I am, just
so gay.
Dude, I'm shoveling it in my face. 3,000 calories, eating all day long. And it bugged me a little bit, man. There's starving kids in China, and here I am. I'm over here stuffing my face 3,000 calories a day.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be sending all that food to Ethiopia and places like that doesn't have that kind of food.
I was a little ashamed and embarrassed, which is why I stopped. Some people think I'm lazy and I lack drive, but it was really, I care. Sometimes that caring will get you in trouble.
Yeah. So, why don't you tell everybody what exactly we're going to be talking about this afternoon?
That's right, listeners. Paycheck and Red have gotten themselves into another inappropriate conversation.
It would be my honor. Well, today we're talking about STIDs. For those who don't know what STIDs are, that's your STDs. That's your sexually transmitted disease. That means you get them from being promiscuous. Now,
like not using a Jimmy hat.
Yeah, well, I mean,
or
there's all kind. Did you know that there's some sort of it's almost like saran wrap that you put on your tongue to perform oral on a female? Yeah, it's like
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
It's like a tongue condom or a vagina blocker. You're eating through like saran wrap.
No.
Yeah.
No. See, that's funny you say that though, because I used to know a guy. I used to work with a guy that didn't enjoy eating pussy, and he would pull out some saran wrap, literal saran wrap, and he would cover his girl's shit in it, and then he would lick it that way.
But why'd you do it like that with your pointer finger? There you go. No, I'd prefer you to do it with your pointer finger. That was disgusting. So STD, what is an STD? It's a sexually transmitted disease, and it's been known to mankind for centuries. According to medical.net health.
Well, see, you got different layers to STDs. There's also STIs, which are transmitted at birth. Through. So if the mother has an STD, the child has. Right. Yeah. That's a sexually transmitted infection.
So, there's a disease called HPV, human papillomavirus, something like that. Papillomian.
Yeah, it's papilloma. Yeah, you're right.
So where do they get these fucking names from? Who invents these names? Human papillonia? You know what I mean? It's like you can't name it like you name hurricanes and shit. You got a Sally STD. you know what I mean? Yep.
You got a bad case of the Carls, man. You got to get that looked at.
Yeah. Human papilloma. Hold on.
It's papilloma with an M.
Papilloma? Yeah, papilloma virus, but papilloma virus is all one word. That's how they have it written here.
No, that's a typo. Papilloma virus is not one word.
So yeah, this is dumb. Who named dumb shit?
Well, I think all English words are derived from Latin or something. I think.
Yeah, damn that. Or Greek, like.
Yeah. So whenever you say the word chlamydia or syphilis,
those sound so dirty.
right? Yeah. I'm with you on the give it hurricane names. I'd rather have a case of the Carls than a case of the chlamydia. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sounds better anyway.
You have such a dirty mouth. I don't like the way you say chlamydia.
Chlamydia.
Yeah, that sounds disrespectful. Like there should be pro.
All right, how about gonorrhea?
Yeah, same thing.
That's worse, right?
Mm-hmm. So when you have an STD, I'm assuming that you're supposed to tell your partner if you have an STD, right?
I mean, I would think so.
Imagine that conversation. Take her out to Golden Corral. You sitting over there in the corner 2-seater, and just the little table, just for your little. You've been to the Golden Corral, right?
Oh yeah.
So now you got to tell her that you have a STD, and now she may have an STD, and she may want to go get tested. Dude, how awkward is that conversation?
Well, see, I would think most of the time you get told, like, for instance, John and Sally, or Bob and Sally. Let's go Bob and Sally since John's so close to paycheck. But anyway, Bob and Sally are getting ready to do the nasty. They're getting ready to bump uglies for the first time.
Bump ugly?
Yeah. Do you really think that Bob is going to tell Sally he's got the clap before he gets that pussy? No, he's going to wait till after. Because he knows that if he tells her before, he ain't getting no pussy.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that's guys. I think that's a guy's mentality right there. The only thing he's thinking about is getting it in.
Right.
So, I'm even willing to believe that even if a female said, "Well, wait a minute, I have HPV," he'd be like,
"Dude,
okay.
Don't care."
Yeah.
He don't care.
No, he probably doesn't even know what that means exactly. So, funny story. So, back in my day, I was young. I was in my early 20s. I was in my first pad. It was a little two bedroom center block house. Like it would be cold as shit in the wintertime. That motherfucker would be hot as shit in the damn summertime in that motherfucker. A buddy of mine just got out of prison, and he didn't have anywhere to go, so he come and lived in my spare bedroom. So I was dating this girl at the time, and she was my waitress when I met her. This is back in the day when you had the beepers. So I gave her my beeper number. You know, she was my waitress. Cute little thing. So we hooked up, you know, and then she asked me after we declared our love for one another, and we were now an official couple. This is before becoming Facebook official. You know what I mean? You have that conversation.
Right.
So she asked me, you know, can I dance? Can I be a stripper? And, you know, and in my 20s, I was like, fuck, I don't give a shit. You know, I'm comfortable with my manhood. I'll even go out there and watch you dance. So I did that, and that became a thing. That became part of my life. Going out to the strip clubs. She'd bounce in between a bunch of good ones. She would travel even. So eventually, some of the other girls would come back to the house. Some of their boyfriends were at the bar also with them, and I got to know them, and we were friends, you know what I mean? So it became this huge stripper party at the house. So once my buddy moved in, he ended up going up there with me and hooking up with with one of the girls up there, girlfriend deal, and she came back to the house. And one night after they got off from work, you know, we was chilling and partying and whatever, and then we went to bed, and I came out to use the bathroom, and he came out to use the bathroom at the same time, and I was chit-chatting with him, doing the boy thing, giving pound, you know, we doing it in here, baby, you know what I mean? While I'm talking to him, I noticed something on his mustache. So I tell him, I was like, hey man, you got something on your mustache. And, you know, he swiped at it, you know, it didn't come off. And I looked at it, you know what I mean? I was trying to show him where it was or whatever. And he was swiping, it would not come off. So finally we went to the bathroom, and he looked at it, and he turned back and looked at me with this.
It was a full-on crab.
Yes. Dude, it was so crazy. I ran in the bedroom, threw the light on. Look, check your shit. Fortunately, most females that I deal with, I don't know if I attract this type or what, but they're clean down there for the most part. You know what I mean? There ain't a whole lot going on down there or whatever. So we all talked about it. We laughed about it. I clowned dude about it. You know what I mean? I clown him to this day. We're friends on Facebook. But what was I gonna say? So when we were talking about it, they mentioned that what happens is that some girls that dance are clean. They come from a clean environment. They got a nice house or whatever. It's clean. You know what I mean? They take care of business, and others do not. So when the ones who do not take care of their house, when they come home, they just throw their shit on the floor in the back room at the club. You know what I mean? While they're getting ready, they change different outfits or whatever. So before too long, there becomes this line on the floor of clothes. Yeah, imagine what a woman's, you know what I mean, with the whole clothes thing. Are you awake? Are you froze? What's going on here? Are you participating?
I'm listening to this long, drug-out fucking story you're telling.
So yeah, they told me that's how a lot of people back in those days would attract crabs, is the environment that you're in. So if you're in the strip club industry, you run a higher risk to getting crabs than I would. You know what I mean? So getting back to having to have a conversation with somebody, a loved one, about this. Have you ever had to do that? Have you ever had an STD?
No, never have.
You never even got the little ones? Chlamydia is a fairly little one. I'm pretty sure they can cure that one, right?
No, I've never had any of it, man.
No.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. But it's because I've always used protection.
Why is this so surprising that I never have?
I don't know. You just look like you got some kind of STD. You look like one of them dirty motherfuckers. I'm pretty sure you walk around with an STD vaccination in your fanny pack or in one of the pockets of your cargo shorts.
You are a truck driver, sir. You would stand more of a chance of getting an STD than I would.
And you're right, because I caught
statistically speaking.
Right. Yeah, I agree, because I caught a bacterial infection on my toes, my toenails. Because, you know, you have to treat that like prison. Like, you have to have shower shoes in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's how bad it is. I'm cured, by the way. Thanks, Doc.
So, your scenario in and out of these shower stalls at truck stops and in and out of bathroom stalls, real quick shit on the road in between stops. That scenario sounds eerily similar to the stripper scenario.
It does. And there's been times where, see, truck drivers, some of them, at times, they're real tight on time. So you don't have the luxuries of stopping to take a shower in between pickup and delivery. Some of those pickup and deliveries are from California to Florida. So that's a 4-day run. So timing doesn't allow you to stop and take a shower. Dude, there's been times where I've walked into a bathroom to take piss, and I can just smell nutsack in that motherfucker. Like it's that bad.
I could have went the rest of my life without knowing that, Paycheck.
I want to tell them, okay, so worst case scenario, I keep baby wipes on the truck with me. So I clean the downstairs, I clean the pits, I clean the feet, you know what I mean? And I'll throw some water on my face, you know what I mean?
Do you clean with a alcohol-based disinfectant?
Yeah,
to kill all that shit around your twig and berries there?
Yeah. That's the important part. You have to know what you're picking up. You know what I mean? You have to look at it. There's that antibacterial. Some of them even have like little soap pods, little miniature ones in there. You know what I mean? But I have even taken a water bottle in there with me. I'm only in there to get fuel and take a quick piss or shit. So while I'm in there real quick, dude, I have my 2-liter bottle and my soap when I go in there. While I'm sitting on the toilet, I will wash my junk. And since I'm sitting on the toilet anyway, I'll just dump the water on my business to rinse it off. You know what I mean? It's like the one-stop shop. I'm killing all kind of birds in this motherfucker.
I'm getting all kind of birds stoned at the same time.
Yeah, but with shoes on.
Well, I mean, there's been times that I myself, like beard competition weekends when we're out of town, you know, I've been known to, you ain't got time for a shower, or there's too many motherfuckers in the house to take a shower. So I've been in the bathroom taking a shit, but not doing it on the shitter, but I've actually threw my balls on the sink. Wash them motherfuckers up real good. Put them back, put them away. You know what I mean? So
on the board, like you just throw them over the side on the inside.
I've been known to, yeah. Yeah, I've been known to. But it was in other times, depending on where I was at. Now, I don't just throw my balls on any kind of motel sink or nothing like that, because that's how you get fucking STDs. But
and I have been at some of those competitions with Red where he hasn't taken a shower in 4 days. We were in St. Louis for what, almost 6 days, something like that.
5 or 6 days, yeah. I think I took one full shower the whole time I was there. Every other time it was just a good ball wash.
Yeah. But, you know, for the record, guys' balls aren't nasty. A guy can go, as long as he's not working construction or anything like that, guys can go a good 2 days without, and everything still be, pleasant. For me, but, my hygiene, my shower daily. But I've been 2 days, and again, it depends on how much activity, but, I'm a truck driver. So,
yeah, it's not that your balls are stinking and you think everybody else can. It's just that fresh feeling. You know what I mean? There's something about a nice haircut and clean balls. There's something about a fresh haircut and clean balls. I mean, it's just something about it.
Absolutely. And you're right, because there's times where when I was out on the road, I was out for like 2 months at a time. So when you get out to about a month and a half, it starts wearing on you a little bit, you know what I mean? And something as simple as a shower and a sit-down restaurant, it gives you that boost again. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, but the weird thing about smelly balls is that at least you know you have smelly balls. At some point, you will know that you have smelly balls. But STDs, some of them lay dormant for years, and then all of a sudden, somebody has an outbreak. So imagine if you were single and in the dating scene, you woke up one morning, you got a hot date with old slut that you picked up on Plenty of Fish. You know what I mean? Well, now you got this little thing popped up on your backer. How do you explain that?
You don't mention that. You don't mention that till after the fact, or you don't mention it at all.
Yeah, but you know, I'm used to porn sex. You know what I mean? I'm used to chicks gagging and looking at it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be in the dark where they're not gonna touch it. They're not gonna see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can fuck, baby, but you gotta turn the lights off. You gotta turn the lights off.
Just don't look at the right side of my dick.
Yeah. That brown spot on my balls, I'm paying attention to that. That's nothing.
That's a birthmark. I'm pretty sure that's a birthmark.
It's a birthmark or a freckle. I haven't figured it out yet. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure the go-to would be a mole. Oh, that's my mole. Because, you know, moles stick out. You know what I mean? They protrude. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
She'd be like, that mole looks weird.
Why is that?
It looks like cauliflower.
Why is that mole moving, Paycheck? Why is that mole moving? It's crawling up your ball sack right now. That's not a mole.
But for females, because of my sexual promiscuity, that's it. Yep. I've been around the block a time or two. You know what I mean? And there were some that the females, they have a better idea of if they do or if they don't have an STD than we do.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know. Have you ever seen that, like, green or like yellowish, brownish discharge coming out of a damn vagina before?
No.
I'm like, I don't think that's supposed to be there.
No. See, I've got a rule. If I can't get it past my nose, I'm not putting it in my mouth. So,
okay, but you will fuck it.
More times than not, but the rule is if I can't get it past my nose, it doesn't go in my mouth. And if I'm looking at like some greenish, yellowish, pussy looking discharge, that's automatic. I ain't fucking with that.
Just the word discharge makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
So I bring that up because I had a girl, like she was my girlfriend. You know what I mean? We were serious, and we were gonna have sex one night, and she told me that she thinks she has a yeast infection or something like that, and that was the side effect. Apparently, is that it was like slimy type. Dude, it made me sick to my stomach. And, yeah, but the point that I was getting to is that if a female has an STD, I wonder if there would be a discharge. Would they be able to see it? Would they know? Like, we wouldn't know until there was an intrusion. What is it? What's the word?
I have no idea.
Intrusion. Something sticking up. Something there that's not supposed to be there.
Right.
But a female, I would think that they would know by the smell. You know what I mean? And what?
I don't have a vagina, so I'm not sure if I would know that or not.
Yeah, but you've been around vaginas, have you not?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And for me, it sucked because I liked
vagina. Yeah,
I like, huh?
I said you like vagina. I do too.
No, I like eating pussy.
Oh yeah, me too.
So when that starts to happen, when I start to make the moves, I'm quickly disappointed when things aren't so fresh. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, this banging body, I can't even go down there because a lot of them.
That's where you got to feel down in there first and do the smell test first. You can't just go in there all willy-nilly thinking you get ready to eat some pussy. You gotta test the waters a little bit. You know what I mean?
There were some where I as soon as I unbuttoned the button, I smelled it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if it's just a faint hint of a smell, or whenever you're just starting to fuck around with old girl and you put your hand in her pants and she's already wet.
Yeah.
I'm checking to see what that. I'm checking the viscosity of that shit first. If it's chunky, like,
do you do that though? Do you like up and down with your? You like
yeah,
moving in between your fingers?
It's the whittling of the middle finger and thumb that way. Then it's the up and down stickiness.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you measure the viscosity first.
Right. That's this.
Okay, but I'm assuming that the smell would come if you have it up here looking at it like that. And how do you do that while she's looking at you? Do you do that while she's looking at you?
No, it's real quick, man. You got to know how to do that. You got to do this and that all at the same time, so you never lose a beat. You know what I mean? You're checking this while you're doing this. While you're playing, flicking the little man in the boat right there. You just make it all one motion.
You're checking on loose connections while you're checking the oil.
Right. Yeah. And then whenever all that's over with, and I'm getting ready to make that second move, downstairs, then I'm going. and if that don't pass the test, then yeah, we just gonna fuck, or baby, I got to go. Something came up.
There's this one chick that I grew up with. She was younger than us. I grew up, in the hood, and there was about 15 of us. We were all fairly close to the same age, some a little older, some a little younger, but there was about 15 of us in that age group that we ran the neighborhood. And of course, in the beginning, it was, sideline busts, football, there'd be basketball goals and all the cul-de-sacs, you know what I mean? And there was always these young little hood chicks that would, and I always thought, you're so young, how are you able to be out here around all these wannabe gangsters, you know what I mean? And she kept trying to hit on me, and I kept telling her, I don't get down like that, you are not 18 years old. So finally, dude, she turned 18 years old, and she come hunting for me. So I hit it. It was amazing. It was worth the wait. But it became like we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. So if I saw her at a party or something like that, we'd dip out real quick. You know what I mean? So one day,
us young folks call that a fuck buddy, Paycheck. You old motherfucker.
But you might as well go over to the roughneckbeardcompany.com and get you some beard products. Take care of that best friend on your face. He'll thank you for it later. Make sure to use promo code Paycheck15 to save 15% off your next order.
And then you might be able to put in, if they allow you to put multiple codes in there, put Wayne sent me for an additional 10%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, not really, but this is before all the...
A friend with benefits.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, we kind of grew up together. I knew her when she was a little kid. But one day, man, I banged her out. And,
That's pervy as fuck. That's pervy as fuck, dude.
But listen, with all due respect, of course, I don't want to be disrespectful. She's a great person. I still know her today. She's still a great person. But one day, I was finger banging. You know what I mean? And dude, the smell on my fingers was so bad that when I went back into the party, I kept dipping them in my beer, trying to get out, because I was talking to people. You know what I mean? So I walk up on the scene and try to, because I'm a social butterfly. I mingle. I get in all the conversations.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Or I don't do that, and I walk in there, and all of a sudden people, their face starts changing. They're like, does this smell like pussy all of a sudden? You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Wait. So you just walk in the party mingling with your Dixie cup in your hand, and you just standing there with your fingers just draped over the cup, just
flicking the beer in there.
Yeah, just.
No.
Man, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm trying to get rid of the suds, man. I don't like head on my beer. Yeah. What the fuck?
No, I was a little more discreet about it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be.
Why not just go to the fucking bathroom and wash your damn hands?
Because I don't think I had access to. I think this was an outside party. I don't think I had access to the bathroom. If I did, I probably would have just banged in the bathroom.
Was this out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, or was this at somebody's house?
I think it was at somebody's house that lived in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. They didn't have outside water spigots or anything like that?
Well, listen, it's a nighttime party. I'm intoxicated. I'm not walking around with a flashlight on the exterior of their damn house looking for the damn spigot.
Hey man, you got a water hose around here somewhere?
But listen, the water hose would not have been enough. I would have needed some sort of antibacterial with a fragrance in it.
Some grease lightning degreaser or something?
No, some lotion with some lemon lime vanilla fruit type scent on it.
Vanilla fruit?
Yeah, the girly shit. But you don't just get the smells and the funk and all that because you have an STD. That's not being clean and not being up on your hygiene. But I imagine that some STDs are. Let's talk about some. What are some examples of STDs? Throw off a couple.
Gonorrhea? I would think that would have a smell.
I don't even know what that is. What is that? It's a sexually transmitted disease. But...
All right. Well, it's gonorrhea. People call it the clap, the morning drip, the dose, that kind of shit.
Is that the one where it burns when you pee?
I'm not sure the symptoms. I've never had it. I haven't done that much research, but people call it the clap. I know you've heard of the clap. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but what and how does that? I don't understand the parallel. The clap? What, this?
No, dude, you would. All right. It's the primitive, the old school treatment for gonorrhea, because it would build up a pus.
That's disgusting. Yeah.
So in order to bust it, to get rid of it, you would take your junk, put it in your hands, and go. and squeeze the discharge.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, man, that's I'm reading that right now.
It's disgusting. So
I can't help it. You asked me what one was, and I told you what it was, and it's disgusting.
So you said drip, like motherfuckers is leaking.
Yeah, motherfuckers is leaking. Named after the dripping discharge commonly associated with that particular infection.
So sometimes when you see that man who just came out of the damn bathroom and he's got a little bit of dribble on his pants, like he didn't shake it and get it all off before he stuck it back in. So that actually could just be.
He could have gonorrhea. Yeah.
So that I should look for like a green stain.
My information at stdcheck.com does not give that information. It does not say what color the discharge is.
So I wonder if it's like your stool. Like if is the discharge dark in color? Is it green? Because I imagine that would be bad. But if it's like a brown, like a light brown, it might just be a little bit of period stuck up in there. You know what I mean? It's got like a brownish, clearish discharge.
That's fucking disgusting, man.
I'm trying to figure out how it leaks for guys. Like it leaks out the dick hole?
The pee hole, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Pee hole, yeah.
And it burns? What kind of shit is that?
I don't know. I've never had it, man. I'm just reading off what the internet says.
So it leaks out of your dick and it burns?
Yeah, I guess.
Then
you've got, I was going to say everybody's favorite. You've got chlamydia.
What is that?
That's a fun one to say. It's chlamydia. Also a milky or gooey discharge.
Ooh, a milky? What is that like? I guess that you would have to do a viscosity test on that as well.
Probably.
So are they suggesting that the viscosity is a heavier weight
gooey.
No.
Gooey. Yeah, gooey.
Oh. So that'd be some of your 14 weight right there.
Probably, yeah.
So I know girls who tried to be proactive who were sexually transmitted. That were sexually active, and they would wear panty liners to avoid getting any stains on their. Wait, where's this episode going?
What are you talking about?
What are we talking about today? Panty liners and STDs?
Leaking pee holes? I told you this was gonna be a nasty, deep, dark rabbit hole.
Who writes this shit?
I have no idea. And then you've got everybody's favorite and the only STD to ever be cured in a famous person. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who. I got it. Go ahead.
HIV, the high five.
Did you say HAIV?
No, I said HIV, the high five.
Or the HIVs?
HIV, yeah, whatever you want to call it. The virus, the bug. I've
Yes.
even heard it called the deadliest catch. You know what I mean?
So you can get that intravenously and sexually, right?
As far as I know, yeah. I've never had any of this, so I'm just assuming.
Well, I remember back in the day, it was like in the early '80s. It was talking, it was anal sex is how you got.
It was an epidemic in the 80s. Now it's just as common to get and treatable, I think, as these other we've named already.
Absolutely.
I mean, people test. I don't even think they call it HIV anymore, like slang. I think it's just I'm positive or I'm posy or pause or whatever. Like I don't think I've got HIV. That there's a stigma to it when you say it like that. So they've dumbed it down a little bit because it's more treatable now and just call it. I'm positive. I think that if they would have had the technology they've got today back in the 80s, Freddie Mercury would still be alive.
Well, I think it's a money thing.
Magic Johnson got that shit, and now Magic Johnson ain't got that shit no more.
No, but I'm sure he paid for it. I'm sure that
I guarantee he did.
Yeah. So I think if you can pay for it, you can be cured, and I believe that to be true with cancer as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what about
everybody's favorite, yours and mine across the board, the most popular STD of them all.
I thought you said that was chlamydia.
No, well, this one's even more popular and more common and more treatable than even chlamydia. You want to take a guess?
Genital warts.
Herpes? Yeah, genital warts.
Yeah, that's herpes. So
the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. So what information do you have on herpes?
Well, you got type A and type B. You got like mouth herpes, which is cold sores and blisters and shit like that. Cold sores. Then you've got type B, which is genital warts.
So I've heard that everybody walks around with one type of the viruses.
Well, see, if you got a fever blister on your lip and you go eat pussy, chances are that girl is going to get herpes.
You think she would notice and say, "Please don't. Let's not do that tonight."
That shit on your lips got some shit on its lip.
Hey, I remember being a truck driver, being in a truck stop at night, and a lot lizard jumped up on the steps, was trying to sell her services with a cold sore on her mouth. And I cussed her up and down for everything she's worth. I asked her, "What kind of marketing genius are you out here trying to sell this stuff? It's all damaged. You got herpes on your lip. Trying to sell
damaged goods."
Yeah, it was crazy. I said, "Go get your shit together, then come back, okay? I mean, you're cute." You know what I mean? So a lot of people were walking around with natural. I imagine that it's natural. Like I guess until something triggers it. Because if I'm not mistaken, herpes, I believe everybody has the herpes virus within them. I may be wrong. I don't know. Do you know anything about that? Are you Googling it right now?
Well, I'm kind of Googling it.
Well, I was noticing that I didn't have your full attention. You know how I feel about that.
Well, I'm just trying to be proactive here and get information to talk about, which I probably should have already had this shit pulled up, but I didn't.
That was pre-podcast, pre-stuff.
Right, yeah. Well, we got carried away in the pre-conversation, but what was the question again? Does everybody have some sort of herpes virus in them naturally and is triggered, and which is I don't know. I heard somewhere I don't think so. This is strictly opinion here because I haven't been able to find anything on that, but I don't think you're born with it. I think that's something that's passed on from person to person. I don't think you're born with the herpes gene, because what the hell would trigger a genital wart?
Oh, I have no idea.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what would trigger your body to create a genital wart?
Maybe tight underwear. Yeah.
I think the tight underwear causes yeast infections, man, like herpes. You looking it up or what?
Yeah, but it says it's herpes in everyone. It says oral herpes in quotations or parentheses that have cold sores. It says everyone is at risk for oral herpes from HSV1. In fact, studies suggest that by adolescence, 62% of Americans are infected with HSV, which is, I'm assuming, like a herpes simplex virus 1.
Oh yeah, good.
So
Look at you being all smart over there.
So
that's
62%.
That's why that forehead is so fucking big, because you got all that. It's not.
For some reason, the older I get, the bigger it gets. I don't know if I'm losing hair or if I'm just getting smarter.
I'd go with the.
Yeah, don't eat that, motherfucker. So 62% of Americans are infected with it by the time people are in their 60s.
That's type 1, though, right?
Right. Up to 85% have been infected. So HPV is, I'm assuming, the sexually transmitted disease.
HPV, it's a totally different fucking STD, man.
Right. Well, no, not exactly. Well, it's a form of herpes, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you have documentation on that, sir?
I do not. So, according to CDC.gov.
Oh, my man went to the CDC.
Let's see. You can get HPV by having vaginal, anal, or oral sex with someone who has the virus. It is most commonly spread during a vaginal or anal sex. HPV can be passed even when an infected person has no signs or symptoms.
That's so gross, man.
No.
That's why I don't do butt sex, dude.
You don't?
No.
I take the risk.
I don't fuck with it. Plus, there's nothing wrong. Just for the record, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but there's just a homosexual tendency to it that I just can't get past.
I'm pretty sure that makes you homophobic.
No, I'm not homophobic at all. I'm not scared of them, or I don't have problems with them, but personally, it has a homosexual tendency to it, so I don't fuck with it.
Yeah, but you might be homophobic on the premise that you equate making love to your wife anally with making love with a guy anally.
Dude, if you're putting it in your girl's butt, that's not making love.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, that's not making love, buddy.
That's a good point. Good point. I get that. It would be fucking at that point, huh?
Yeah. Totally.
Which
Not saying you can't go from one to the other, but you wouldn't consider butt sex making love. I don't think that classifies.
yeah.
I could be wrong. I mean, that might be a perception thing, I guess, but
No,
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
I agree. So, do you think it would be easier to take a girl out, on a date to tell her that you have an STD? Say you're with somebody, secretly you felt some burning when you peed, so you went to the doctor and you got the results, and now you gotta tell your partner. So do you take him out on a date, or do you just sit him down at the house? You
Man,
call him?
that's like trying to cover up a shit with a bouquet of flowers. You can't. I don't think the dinner and all that shit's gonna matter.
So
I don't think that matters.
no.
No.
So what about
if you've got to tell your girl that you think that you have or she has a STD, having flowers and dinner is not gonna matter. You could be sitting at the house watching TGIF on a Friday night and say, "Hey, babe, I want to let you know I got some shit going on downstairs that you might want to be aware of." Whether you tell her that shit sitting on the couch, whether you tell her that shit sitting on the couch, or whether you tell her that shit at Outback, it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. She's gonna be pissed either way.
Yeah, but maybe you can switch. You can switch it up. You can be that douchey guy. You can be like, "Hey, have you noticed any kind of bumps or anything on your stuff?" And she might be like, "Well, yeah." Then then maybe you got it from her. Maybe she needs to take you out to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no nice way to do that.
Yeah, what if you do it and
because it's like either hey babe, you got anything going on? That yeah, actually I do. Where the fuck did it come from? I'm glad you said that. And she's gonna try to turn that shit around on you, but then you could be like, well, you remember when we went out of town that weekend? We stopped at the rest stop and you sat down on that nasty ass rest stop toilet, and I just took a piss outside by the tree.
But of course you don't get it like that. You're just being silly.
Well, I'm just trying to give you a man scenario, trying to cover up why his girl's got a fucking STD. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to cover his shit up. Like I don't know how I got it, but you set your ass down on that rest stop toilet a couple weeks ago, so it might come from your ass. So he tries to turn it around on her. But either way, dinner don't matter.
What if it was a question on your job application? Like, would you answer truthfully?
Why would you have that on a job application?
Wouldn't that be crazy if you were filling out a job application? Name, address. Do you have any
job? The only job I can think that's on the application is a porn star.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do job applications. It's just a black couch.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an actual paper application.
But that would be funny though. So would you, if you had an STD and that was on your job application, would you answer truthfully? Like, nope, clean as a whistle.
Yep, I'm ready to give it to everybody that works here.
Just don't look at the right side of my day.
Yeah. Don't pay any attention to that mole on my ball sack. Thank you very much. But if you're getting a job somewhere other than the porn industry and they ask you if you've ever had an STD to work here, then you don't need to work there either way.
Well, I imagine that would be a relevant question in the food industry.
Yeah, but still, if you have to validate that shit to hire somebody, you probably shouldn't be hiring somebody. I mean, if you got, why would you need to know that?
Well, if I ordered
think about this before you go any further. Think about this. When you stop at Burger King, let's say, okay, on your way home from work or in the morning to get you a biscuit or whatever, statistically speaking, you've probably got 20, on a good busy day, you've probably got 15, 20, 25 employees working together at one time, right? Out of those, let's say 20 people, how many of those 20 people do you think has an STD? You think all 20 of them motherfuckers is clean?
No, I imagine being on the safe side, at least one of those 25 probably have an STD.
Right. Now, do you think that Burger King asked them if they ever had an STD to serve food? No.
But it'd be funny if they did, wouldn't it?
It damn sure would be funny. It should be, actually. It should be. And you should have to go get tested in order to get a job in the food industry, in my opinion. That's a good point. Because there's a lot of people handling food that's scratching their ball. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, but it's only through
Waiting, I think is the name of it.
Yeah, but this stuff is only through sex. You can only get most of these diseases that we mentioned by having anal or vaginal sex.
All right, so you're telling me that if you got genital warts and you work at Burger King and you online slapping hamburgers together and in between customers you reach in there and dig on the old wart right there a little bit because it itches like hell, and then you go put your hands on a hamburger and some lettuce. That's how salmonella and shit gets fucking, that's how the lettuce gets tainted.
But wait a minute, but you said they itch. So a genital wart itches?
I guess, I'm assuming. I mean, it's a wart, it's a bump, it's a blister. Usually healing blisters or warts and shit like that itch.
Yeah.
And from what I seen while ago when I was reading all this shit from the website, yeah, it itches. So
I think one of those warts has to be busted open in order for it to spread from their finger to your food.
He's digging at that motherfucker and he busts it open. And he goes and throws your Whopper together.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, so.
All right, so wrapping this up, the only way to prevent all this would be what? Abstinence?
Keep it in your pants. Because even protection, I know you can't do that, but even protection, you still stand a chance of getting a fucking STD.
What is it? I remember it was a big deal when I was growing up. Condoms are either 90% or 99% effective.
99, yeah.
So that still leaves a chance. And how many times have you? I know you only made love to your wife. You know what I mean? But
here we go.
But there's been times where I've busted a condom in mid-stroke. So at that point, what's the point in wearing one? I've already been in you, raw dog.
You gotta have backup, man.
I did, and I put another one on. All right, so abstinence or protection. I know we talked about it's only 99% effective, but that's still 99%. So keep it wrapped. Don't be on these crazy ass websites. Go down to your local Piggly Wiggly, pick you up abroad. Oh wait, they don't like to be called abroad. Right? I'll get in trouble for that. Huh?
So let me get this straight. So you would rather go to the Piggly Wiggly and find some pussy than fish in the pond or whatever the fuck you call it.
Plenty of fish.
Whatever it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm old school. You know what I mean? There's plenty of fish, and these damn websites. They make you think. Well, they are who they want to be and look like on the internet. You be done. What's that word? Catfished.
Yeah, but think about now. This is no disrespect to anybody in this conversation, but think about or outside of this conversation, think about the quality of tail we're talking about here. If you're going to the Piggly Wiggly to pick up girls.
Listen, there are a lot.
There's a hint of being desperate when you have to go to the Piggly Wiggly, or the fish in the pond, whatever the fuck you called it. There's a level of desperateness there that I'm not picking up girls at the Piggly Wiggly, man. I've got standards.
So you're insinuating that Piggly Wiggly is the minor leagues. So what would be the major league grocery store that you would pick up?
Win Dixie, baby.
Win Dixie.
Walmart.
Win Dixie is but public.
No, not Win Dixie. I take that back. Somewhere like a upscale Harris Teeter or a Publix or something like that. That's probably top shelf grocery store vagina.
Yeah, I'd say Walmart is. Publix is your more high end tail.
Yeah, when it comes to grocery store vagina. Yeah, but there's still a level of being desperate either way you go. Why not just go to a club, mingle and meet girls? How you gonna mingle at the grocery store? You just gonna...
I work for a living. I don't have time to be out at all wee hours of the damn morning.
You ain't got time to walk your ass in the grocery store neither, don't sound like.
Well, because I'm married
I work for a living.
Yeah. I'm married at the moment. You know, so I really
you ain't going to the grocery store any damn way.
No. But there's a reason for that. You know, when you're married, you know, you try to keep yourself out of situations.
I've been married for 18 years. I totally understand.
Yeah.
So you can walk through the produce section. Look at all them melons and cantaloupes and all that kind of shit, but you ain't allowed to have none.
See, it's apparent that we view women completely different, because I would have compared that to the meat section for some reason.
That's gay. That's your homosexual tendency that you have.
Yeah, but it's meat that you're.
Yeah, but the sexual innuendo would be melons, not meat. The sexual innuendo for meat is a dude.
Yeah, but that's if you're a boob guy. If I'm an ass guy, that wouldn't necessarily be fruit.
No, you can put two melons together, it looks like an ass or it looks like a set of boobs.
Yeah, but
go either way.
I'm over here looking at the ham.
Or in your case, you could put together a banana and a couple apples or something like that.
The way you did your hands just now looks like you've done that before. See, I'm over here looking at the ham hocks, the thighs.
That's gay.
Them old gizzards.
Damn.
I'm looking at them gizzards.
This motherfucker's looking at gizzards.
All right, so there it is. Another successful episode of Inappropriate Comedy by yours truly, Johnny Motherfucking Pate. Oh, I'm not. I promised I wouldn't say motherfucking anymore. It has to be motherfucking. There's no G in motherfucking. I guess it's not motherfucking. It's motherfucking, right?
I don't know, man.
Well, you wouldn't say motherfucking. Have you ever said motherfucker?
It's the emphasis that you're putting on the word because what you're talking about.
Motherfucking paycheck.
Yeah, that's driving it home. This is Johnny motherfucking paycheck. That's lax. When you say this is Johnny motherfucking paycheck, there's emphasis on that. It means a little bit more when you stick that G in there.
Can I say paycheck? Johnny motherfucking paycheck? Like, it's not just paycheck. I mean, it is.
I just said Johnny motherfucking paycheck.
Because listen, I'm a person too. Okay, my name's Johnny.
What are you talking about?
There it is. We almost ruined a successful.
You. Ain't no damn we.
So we don't need to tell them where to find us or anything, right? Oh, I guess at this point we can just say thank you for all the listeners. Thank you for those who are reaching out to collaborate. We've done some collaborations, so look for them. We appreciate everybody listening. Wayne, you got anything? You want to tell them anything?
Drama City Productions, man. There's a lot of good shit coming out of DCP in the last few weeks. A lot of new podcasts on the network and shit. We just done a collab with the Bearded Idiots, and they're not on the network, but they should be. But Cool dudes, man. There's a lot of indie podcasts out there that are fun as hell.
Indie podcast?
Indie, yes.
Meaning
Independent,
oh.
which means they're not in a network.
Oh, got it. Indie.
You gotta keep up, man. You gotta keep up.
I am. So thank y'all. Check us out. Find the Bearded Idiots. Find the episode that we're on. It was a good one. They're good people.
If they haven't put it out yet, they can't find it right now.
Yeah, do not look for it right now. Whatever you do.
We will let you know when it comes out.
Yeah. Call our secretary, and then they'll give us your contact information.
Eager contact information?
I didn't say eager.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yep. Listen to the playback.
Who's high here and who's not?
I'm not hearing shit. You literally said eager. Anyway.
All right. Well, there it is. Another
For the
episode.
third time, there it is. STDs.
Stay tuned for the next one. See ya.
Later.
You've been listening to the Conversations with Paycheck and Red podcast. Check out Paycheck and Red on Facebook at Paycheck and Red, Instagram at Paycheck and Red podcast, and Twitter at Paycheck and Red. And don't forget, paycheckandred.com, where you can buy merch, you can subscribe to the podcast, and you can listen to the podcast.
What's up, all you guys out there in podcast land? This is Chris.
This is Jason.
And I'm the Duchess.
And we're the hashtag No Offense Show, bringing you your weekly dose of crazy Florida headlines.
Well, that's not all we talk about. I mean, we talk about stuff like...
Yeah, don't forget about me sucking dicks.
Oh,
Jesus.
That's too, I guess.
Some of them dick pics.
Let's just check out this clip from a recent episode.
Bitch.
You know, they don't really have any problems at all.
Fuck yeah, why would you?
Yeah.
Everybody's getting their balls drained and not
Right.
getting in trouble.
Oh, exactly.
And the girls are getting paid. They're happy.
And nobody's suing anybody for whipping their dick out.
She's got fucking health care for sucking dick, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, do you know how many bitches in America would suck dick for health care?
I would suck dick for health care.
You've got it by being married.
For free health care. Yeah, but if we can get health care for free, you will let me suck dick?
I pay
I eat sandwiches
$550 a month for health care. Is $550 a month worth it to you to suck a gang of dicks for free health care?
How many are a gang? And will they be providing...
Yeah, what is a gang of dicks?
Will they be providing sandwiches
lot.
afterwards? Because if they have sandwiches, then I am in.
I'll pay the $550 and take you to Firehouse, okay? So if you like what you heard, head on over to htnos.com.
And you can subscribe on any of your podcast platforms.
And don't forget to follow us on all the socials, HTNOS everywhere.